Happy Sunday, Oaklawn race fans, and welcome to the final day of our holiday meet as we have our final Oaklawn Today of the season. We'll be back at the end of the month. Looking forward to that. Nancy Holthus joined alongside track announcer Matt Dinnerman. We come off our biggest day as of yet, yesterday, with 3 stakes, including the Smarty Jones. There were a few horses that I was a little disappointed in, but man, what a performance by Strategic Risk and owner John Oxley running 1-2 in that event.
It was a huge race from him, and he really just duplicated his race from Gulfstream against Florida Breds, which was a great thing to see. As you mentioned, Nancy, a couple of the favorites did not show up. Universe, for whatever reason, never picked up his speed. Rancho Santa Fe, not only did he not run his best race, he also didn't get a great trip. He was behind the pace, dead last, wide on both turns off a slow pace when the track profile continued to play towards speed. I will give him a pass for that. I still sort of question how good he really is, but I do think Rancho Santa Fe had an excuse.
Yeah, so it was a really wonderful event. Javier Castellano obviously taking the day off from Gulfstream, so it definitely paid off to his benefit. But yeah, unbelievable day. We had, I think, over 15,000 people here, and down in the paddock, they were 4 and 5 deep. To look, I mean, not just for the Smarty Jones race, but I mean, for the whole afternoon. I think the majority of Hot Springs was on the grounds. So love to see that as we get ready to wrap up with today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the weather page. It's a little bit cooler today, but not too terrible. The track is fast, partly sunny skies, 44 degrees, and winds out of the east at 5 miles per hour. We also had several connections winning multiple races yesterday. So let's take a look at the news page from yesterday's events. And after today, we go on a little break. Live racing will return on January 30th. And Rudy Brissett with a training double. Christian Torres still on fire, really in a groove as he scored a riding triple. And also Obliteration dominates in the Renaissance Stakes, while Bourbon Bash scored the 10-1 upset in the Commodore Overnight Stakes, giving Steve Asmussen and Joel Rosario a stakes double. Very great day. And Strategic Risk did earn 10 Kentucky Derby qualifying points with that victory in the Smarty Jones. So a lot of good things happening. Matt, I went and just kind of looked up our stats for the standings. Christian Torres in a dominant lead right now with 18. Ramon Vasquez right on his heels with 15. And Luis Saez, who it took a little while for him to get going, and Francisco Arrieta have 13 wins apiece. So a very productive season, especially for Steve Asmussen with 12 victories, and also Mark Cassie with 11. But obviously Cassie not running the quantity that Steve has, but still being that productive. And pretty much you can cash a ticket if you bet a Cassie horse, but I'm curious how that's going to parlay over off a 3-week layoff.
That's a very good point because, again, we're taking a break, and all these horses that have run recently, like Strategic Risk, they're right about ready to run again once the break ends. So timing-wise, the horses that run this week, they're okay. It's the horses that maybe haven't run in a few weeks that you got to wait a little longer to see. And you've got all that momentum, and it stops. So you got to sort of build it back up again. It's not really feeling like right where we left off from last week. It's, hey, we're coming back in 4 weeks. We got to start it up all over again. The good news is that everybody's in the same boat.
Yes.
No matter if you're a small barn, big barn, jockeys, us dealing with momentum, feeling that forward momentum here on the air and feeling good about it. We're all in the same boat.
I wouldn't be surprised if a good amount of our jockey colony go elsewhere for those 3
Good
weeks.
chance.
You know, we gotta eat. You know, so probably a couple maybe heading down to the fairgrounds. Turfway is an option, and also Will Rogers Downs is opening much earlier than they normally do, and I think that's probably to take advantage of our break from the schedule.
I think it's very smart for Will Rogers Downs to do that. I think they're going to see an increase in their business as well. You're going to see some of our riders here that maybe haven't had as much success at Oaklawn go down there and maybe find horses that are long shots here can go down there and find their friends in those types of races. So I think all around there is money to be made other than Oaklawn during that break. But once we come back, they're all going to be coming back here.
Yeah, very much looking forward to it. Almost this morning, it felt like yesterday was Derby Day, just all the buildup and everything.
It was
Woke up just, and everybody I've talked to, we are exhausted. So,
are you exhausted? I'm fired up. I'm ready to go today.
But you know what? It's hard to believe. You know, we come back, we go to a four race day schedule. We used to do 5 days a week. And I was talking to couple people this morning, like, how did we do it? Oh, wait, we were 20 years younger when we did it, so that makes a big difference. Also want to give a personal shout out to our very own Chaplain Rich Heffington. Today is his birthday. So, Chaplain Rich, happy birthday.
Rich.
We love you and are so blessed to have you in our lives. So
he is such
lot
a
of good work.
positive force.
He
The
is.
energy, everybody has energy, right? And you go to Rich and the positivity, he's like a shining bright light.
I
know?
love that.
If you're feeling under the weather, physically, mentally, he's going to make you feel better.
And we love him so much and very thankful for all that he does for all of us. Matt, we've got 10 races on the card, or I'm sorry, 11 races on the card. First post is at
Finishing
noon.
things off with a bang.
Exactly. This is the last chance to dance for the holiday meet. Let's go ahead and dive in, as the first leg is the first 50-cent pick 5, and this is for maiden 50 claiming 3-year-olds, and they're going to go 6 furlongs in distance. And Matt, just 2 first-time starters in the field, one of those drawing the rail. So this is going to be an interesting course of events when they get out on the track.
Extracts arrow 20-1 on the morning line. Andy draws the rail, so he's going to have some things to overcome. I'm not getting creative. I'm picking Brosnan on top. We went to the lead last time out, faded a little bit at this condition. I think this is an easier group, much easier group than what he saw for maiden 50 last time, even though, again, the condition is the same. Just looking at the horses, Highly Connected, who won that day, was dropping out of maiden special weight company. There are a lot of horses in here that don't have great form, and some of them probably aren't even close worth of 50,000, but this is a main claimer that fits before the break, so they're running in it. I like Brosnan, and also we'll see how the track profile is today. Last few days, we've seen horses. They can come from off the pace, but they need to be around 2 lengths, maybe 3 lengths at most, turning for home. They can't be 8 behind turning for the stretch. This horse showed speed last time. He's going to be around turning for home.
We did see a few, just a sprinkling of horses be able to come from off the pace yesterday, the first being Obliteration. But yeah, pretty much it's stood true to really giving the benefit to those speed runners. I'm on Brosnan as well. His numbers are just simply leaps and bounds above the rest of the field. Now, he is going to whip back in 8 days. Something kind of surprising from the Asmussen barn. You don't see that very often. Does get first Lasix, and I like that Joel Rosario is sticking around today, because I think Steve Asmussen is going to have a very productive day at the races.
Okay, well, and he's one that even if we have a break, he's going to find ways to go other places to run during the 3 weeks. So Steve, he's one that just the ball's going to keep rolling for his barn.
Yeah, and I think Joel Rosario, he's one of the guys that, and I think there's just a handful of them, is a difference maker.
I agree.
He's so cerebral in his mounts. He's super, super patient, and just God-given talent, period.
Sometimes you know, there are people you see in life at whatever profession they have, and there's just something about them that just sets them apart. And I think with Joel, when you watch him ride at his best, he's so smooth on a horse. We talk about horses that have very little wasted motion when they run. He, as a jockey, has very little wasted motion when he his hands, the way he asks the horse to go. There's just really a chemistry between the horses, and when they run for him, they really run for him. Really
amazing finesse is what it comes down to. Race number 2, a very experienced group of fillies and mares, non-winners of 3 or non-winners of a race since July 4th. They are in for the $10,000 claiming price, and they will contest a 1.1 in distance, as this also starts the first leg of a 50-cent pick 4 sequence.
It does, and this is a tough race because a lot of these runners have pretty inconsistent form. I'm going to take Cyrenac Lake on top. This horse did no running last time out. Well, it was an allowance race at Remington. Now is in for 10. And this horse, the last time she won, it was right here at Oaklawn last season in March, just 4 or 5 starts ago. Hasn't been too much race since Oaklawn's last season, and she won for $10,000. So this is the right spot, not a suspicious drop coming out of that allowance. Needs the drop, is getting it. I think this is the one race I have the least strong opinion on, but I figure she's in the right spot.
I'm going to look to Cameron Milligan's runner. That is the number 2, Boltoro, Francisco Arrieta in the irons, and Cameron, the son of Eddie Milligan, the trainer. So really good, respected racing family. Boltoro's really strong numbers make him a true contender today. He is running first off the claim and a third when facing similar. I think this horse is tactical, but as we've kind of seen a pattern develop over the last couple of of days, probably needs to be within the first flight of runners. Now, he is in the money, 6 of 9 at the distance, no wins yet. So I think it's going to be super important going from that mile to a mile and a 16th to have that staying power. And hopefully Francisco is able to use his finesse to get him the distance.
Yeah, and I think this one probably is the horse to beat, coming off that third place finish at Remington at this level when you look at the numbers and who this runner has faced.
Do want to make a note in race number 3, Manny Esquivel is riding today. So we saw him in the nightcap become dislodged from his horse right out of the gate, pretty much. But we are very thankful that he is okay. I think all he wound up with is a few stitches, and he is good to go. So we're very happy that Manny was unscathed in that. Race number 3 is for 3-year-old fillies, a 1-mile distance for maiden special weight. There's a bunch of pricey ladies in this field. So people wanting the return on their investment as we take a look at this group.
Yes, they're going a mile here, and a lot of our maiden special weight races, especially for younger horses, you're going to see prices in there, at least horses that were purchased for a lot of money. Eagle Dance is not one of them. A Don Alberto Corporation homebred, although she probably would go for a good chunk of money if she was in a sale as a youngster. A Daughter of Audible, first time out ran, I thought, a really good second in the maiden special weight rank, sprinting for trainer Brad Cox. I watched her workouts on Oaklawn.com, and in my notes, I wrote, she wants more distance, probably a bet against sprinting. I thought she ran really well first time out. I did note in my notes working that she can run, so I'm thinking going her out of ground, she's going to be even better. The price is nowhere to be found. She's 7 to 5. You're not going to get a price on her. But, Nancy, I think that this is really just a perfect spot for her to get to the route game and run her best.
Yeah, I actually used her second. I'm going to put the number 7 Touch of Magic on top. Steve Asmussen Barn, I think, is going to go out with the holiday meet with a bang, and Joel Rosario aboard. This was a $250,000 sale purchase, and is going to test a 2-turn mile for the first time. Did go Churchill's 1-turn mile to a 5th. Likes to be up involved in the pace, and is actually a half to 2 graded stakes winners, including multiple 1 grade winner, Gurana. So certainly the pedigree is there, and hope to get the job done in the first 2-turn attempt for this 3-year-old by Into Mischief. Really good group.
Really good group. Gurana, she was a fantastic racehorse. Grade 1, I think she won at 7 furlongs to a mile and an eighth in the grade 1 status.
Isn't that amazing? Like we don't see it as much here, but maybe on the Kentucky circuit, you'll see 6 furlongs going out to stretch to a 2-turn mile and a 16th, and then cutting back to 6 furlongs again. And obviously, we don't have a 7 furlong race because of where our turn is, but some people, 6 is too short and a mile's too long.
Exactly. What we call in-betweeners.
I love that, in-betweeners, yes.
And I do think, Nancy, I've always said the 2 most underrated things in horse racing. One, a horse that can keep good form. Mm-hmm. I think we forget how hard it is for athletes to keep good form for a long period of time. The second thing is it's hard to win a race as it is. Mm-hmm. Then you talk about horses that can do it versatile. They can do it at 6 furlongs, like a horse like Banishing. That is incredibly hard to do.
Very.
Horses that have good form consistently and can be that versatile, I think it's one of the most underrated, hardest things to do as a racehorse.
And you mentioned Banishing at that level. I mean, we're not talking cheap claimers.
No.
We're talking really good
Top-class
allowance and
horses.
stakes runners. So, it's I was like, I like to say it's in the local water.
Yeah, the hot springs.
The hot
By
springs
the way,
water.
I tried a bathhouse for the first time
Oh,
a couple
you
weeks
did?
ago.
What'd you think?
I thought it was tremendous. If you're in the area, you have to do it. I just felt like just so relaxed, and I felt cleansed leaving the bathhouse after sitting in the different temperatures of the pools, and it was a really cool experience.
Last season, I think we were down with weather or something, but Paul and I went to the bathhouse. I'd never been. He'd never been.
Really?
It's almost like, the locals don't go do
That's
it.
what I was going to say. I figured you'd be there a million times.
Which is ironic. It's like people in Vegas don't go to the casino. We don't go to the bathhouses. But we did it last winter, and I really enjoyed it. The different pools with the different temperatures. It was calming, and I really enjoyed it. So I definitely want to do that again.
And they give you like this free water, but it's the hot springs water, so it's as pure water as you'll find.
Delicious.
You can even go sit back in lounge chairs, bring your book, read a book. I in between. It's a very comforting, relaxing experience.
Race number 4 is for 4-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 or non-winners of a race since May 4th. 12.5 is the claim price, a mile and a 16th is the distance, and a few in this field are going to get some class relief and hope, as we say, find their friends. Did have 2 scratches of numbers 10 and 14. That does allow the 13 to draw into the body and make the jockey Rafael Bejarano and a corrected weight of 117. Matt, this kicks off a 50-cent pick 4. Who do you like in this sequence?
I picked Gettysburg Address in here. Well, I guess I like to pick historical history figures, right? Ben Franklin,
when
Gettysburg
When I saw this horse's name, Ben Franklin now pops in my head because of you. So you're influential, Matt. Go ahead.
Coincidentally, the Gettysburg Address, I believe that was Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
Correct,
yes,
in the mid-1800s. But Gettysburg Address, coming off a 9-length loss in a starter allowance race, is in for 12.5 today. I mean, ran in allowance races at Indiana. Actually ran third in one of those races to Viking, who's a pretty nice horse from Randy Morse's barn. That was going sprinting. He's going long here. This horse is 0 for 2 routing. At first, I'm like, wow, this horse seems to make sense dropping in class. 5-1, I don't think we're going to get it. But we might now looking at this because his 2 mile races haven't been great. But I think the class drop is really going to help him.
Yeah, I'm on Gettysburg Address as well. Really like this runner coming in. Does take the drop in class. And the last time this runner made it trip to the winner's circle was against much higher claimers. If you watch the replay of his last race, he went to his knees and got a nice big mouthful of dirt probably.
You're right.
So a clean break out of the gate today is going to be the #1 key with Gettysburg Address. And even two-back was a little bit awkward getting away from the gate. So this 5-year-old needs to get his ducks in a row and get to the winner's circle.
Look who the stallion is.
Constitution.
There you go. Gettysburg Address, Constitution.
Yeah.
Great naming. Whoever named this
Who's Ben
horse.
Franklin by? Do you know offhand?
I do not.
Somebody text me. Look up the horse
I'm
Ben
gonna look it
Franklin
up right now.
and let us know who the sire
Franklin.
is. A lot of class in the field for race number 5. Many have stakes on their form, so lots of back class in this 4 and up allowance. Set to go a mile and a 16th in distance. Just one scratch of the number 7 Trademark, which leaves a very impressive field of 9.
A very impressive field of 9. This is a really good race.
Yes.
And we talked about in-betweeners. These horses seem like in-betweeners between stakes quality and, allowance horses. But we have seen these horses in stakes. For example, a horse named Catching Freedom, who he won the Smarty Jones.
Which we ran yesterday.
Winner. Yeah, and ever since then, he won the Louisiana Derby, but he's had a couple of layoffs. He just hasn't been able to get to the winner's circle since then. Comes off a 3rd-place finish at a tough allowance condition, and now he's eligible to run in this spot here. Was second best 2 starts ago in an allowance race at Keeneland. This horse is a decent horse. I'm going to try to beat him on the win end. I like Woodcourt in here. He ran in the Tinsel last time out for Sippy Contreras, and this horse had a bad trip. He got dueled into submission that day, going way too fast on the lead and faded. This time around, I'm looking on paper. There is some pace, but there's not as much, I don't think. And this horse here last year, he won a really strong allowance race, and he likes this track. So I'm going to pick him at 6-1. Manny Esquivel looking to get that win.
Yes, I am going to go with Catching Freedom. Love this horse today. As Matt alluded to, he was the winner of the Smarty Jones back in 2024, and he has racked up over $1.4 million in paychecks in the afternoon. He's been closer to the pace since joining the overnight ranks, which means he's leaving Stakes Company back in for the allowance. And I like that Christian Torres is a perfect 1-for-1 on him, as he did ride him in the Smarty Jones at today's mile and a 16th distance. So I'm going to go with Catching Freedom. I've been a little bit disappointed with some of the Brad Cox contenders just not firing off the bat, but some of them are also training down at the fairgrounds and coming up to compete like Catching Freedom is doing today. So I'm sure that barn will really start to light up and heat up when we come back for our classic meet.
And Brad Cox has a lot of horses, and
yes,
as we've talked about, streaks do happen, and you could be a top trainer. I think there was one season where Steve Asmussen,
he went over 60 or something.
I mean, it doesn't matter how many horses are. You can have great streaks, bad streaks. It happens to everybody. There are times when Mark Cassie has had lower streaks. So it can happen to anybody. And the fact of the matter is he's got a lot of horses at Fairgrounds, Florida. A lot of the higher quality ones probably are in Florida. But it's just a matter of time before he sends horses here that are ready to run well, because they always find the winner's circle at some point in that barn. By the way, non sequitur, back to what we were saying, Ben Franklin by City of Light.
Oh, okay.
And you think about maybe the Ben Franklin story where he used a kite and a key to
Electricity
see
and-
electricity, light. I don't know.
Maybe. I like the segue. So I'm going to segue to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, race number 6, which is the first leg of the $1 Classics Pick 6.
Make every race day a win at Oaklawn throughout the 2025-2026 live race season. Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays are your days to swipe at any swipe station throughout the racing side. Just insert your valid state ID or driver's license to see if luck is on your side. If you win, a ticket will print telling you what you've won and where to claim it. So grab your prize before the day ends. Guests must be 18 or older to swipe and win. From free food and race bets to special discounts at the racing gift shop, every swipe brings a little thrill, and maybe even a surprise. Don't just watch the races, join the fun and see what you can win at Oaklawn.
Is here for when you need to break away, when you want to reward yourself, when you deserve to indulge, when you want to be close to the action. It's all here. So what are you waiting for? Live racing returns with the classic racing season. So plan your stay at Oaklawn Hot Springs and come join the fun.
GW's girl on the outside getting to this front runner, and GW's girl has gone by. GW's girl in Francisco Arrieta with the Mockingbird.
Just talking about some of the action that we saw yesterday, and we were talking about Stiglitz' victory. And I remember somebody else had mentioned the time, and I asked, "Is that correct?" Because
108 and
it was blazing in the stretch. We've seen some really good stretch runs this meet. We've seen horses win by daylight, and we've seen really amazing finishes. And that always kind of gets me amped up when you see 4 across the wire fighting for that nose or whatever the case may be. That makes you a true race fan.
It doesn't matter what level it is.
Yes.
If you're seeing a good stretch run, you can feel it and you can understand that just the quality of competition.
Yeah.
The fact that we as human beings love to watch competition, whether it be any sport, whether it be not even sports. Think about spelling bees, math bees. We like, for whatever reason, we like to watch other people compete and show their talent, and we like to see who gets the bob at the end of the day, so to speak. And we got plenty, not only good stretch runs here, but good quality, and it all adds up into just an electric experience.
Let's get to race number 6. As I mentioned before the break, the first leg of the $1 Classics. It was hit yesterday, so congratulations if you had one of those tickets. This is for Arkansas-bred 3-year-old fillies, maiden claiming $50,000, and what a way to start the first leg of a Classics. There are 8 first-time starters in the field. I think I'm in the paddock for this one, so pray for me.
Yeah, there are going to be a lot of maybe some antsy fillies, especially the fillies. You know what I mean? They got an attitude. So, Nancy, just pay attention while you're there. I might have to, if you're in the paddock, I might have to watch TV to see what the story's going to be like here.
I'll be ducking and diving.
For sure. It's these Archie breds, they got a mind of their own. I think that's the nice way to put it.
As an Archie bred, yes, we do. I can attest to that.
I'm going to pick Sisters in Town in here. First-time starter by Motown. The Dam was a sprinter. 1 sibling, 1 routing, was in the money sprinting. Johnny Ortiz, he can win a first-time starter. Has a couple of sharp half-mile works on the page. I watched her workout. I wrote as a comment, probably good enough to be okay against Arkansas-bred maiden claimers, and she is in for a tag in an Arkansas-bred maiden claimer. So we're going to take her over the few firsters that I've watched on XBTV, or not XBTV, on Oaklawn.com. I do like to watch XBTV workouts from California.
I was going to say, that's a blast from the past right there. I used Sisters in Town second, and wearing the Silks of Rags Racing, a very dear friend of ours, Joe Ragsdale, who campaigns Rags Racing, so best of luck to you. And he was telling me about he's naming all of his horses and Sisters in Town because his wife, lovely wife Diane, has a couple sisters, so they always say Sisters in Town. So there's
cool.
a little reason for the name. I actually like the fact that the 14 is going to draw into the body of the race. That's Red River Storm coming from the barn of Jade Gelnar. Christian Torres in the irons, certainly not a bad effort off of that 5-month break. Did face tougher Arkansas-bred maiden special weights, so taking that drop in for the tag for the first time, and drew the rail last go. Very happy that we're on the opposite end of the starting gate. Is really going to give Christian more options to get into position, and I think is also going to move forward second race off the break. So interesting group of Arkansas-bred fillies for the first leg.
And I think what you mentioned about how they act in the paddock, it's important. You want to listen to what Nancy says, because sometimes they can lose their race in the paddock being too antsy.
They can, and we've seen, in these, they just turned 3. Some of them start whinnying and talking to each other in the paddock. So it's kind of cool that this is a new experience for them. So look forward to seeing them come post time. Race number 7 is maiden claiming 25,000, 3-year-olds and up, going 6 furlongs, and several in this particular group are taking the dip in for the quarter today. Did have a couple scratches of the 7 and 11, and Ramon Vasquez will pilot the number 13.
All right, there you go. A little rider change there. Santana, he's got a mount in here for David Jacobson, number 10, so they need to find a new rider, as he was second preference on Historic. I'm going to pick a horse that comes from the barn of the nicest people you will find on a racetrack, Kelsey Haar and Robert Klein.
Oh, love them.
They are hardworking individuals, wake up early every morning, do things the right way, take good care of their horses, and they're still looking for a win at this meet, and I think this is the horse to give it to them. A son of Matole here. Ran for maiden 40 last year. This horse had been running 4th against Maiden Special Weight Company. He wasn't running bad. He just wasn't good enough to win. Comes off a layoff, in for 40. This horse ran 4th from off the pace. Didn't have a great trip that day. He didn't break well. He was behind horses down the backside, sort of got shuffled back behind horses, and then had to re-rally for 4th again for maiden 40. Now is in for 25. I think they're looking for a win with this horse, and I think they can get it.
Kelsey Haar has a huge fan club and following, so very
Yes,
well
she does.
deserved. So absolutely wonderful people. I'm going to go to a horse that does draw in off the AEs, and that's the number 14, Flying Private. Peter Miller's been in town this week, taking a look at his Oaklawn contenders. SAL Espinoza in the irons, and I think this jock just got his first Oaklawn win. Was it yesterday or the day before?
I think it was last week.
Oh, was it last week?
And he's
Okay.
won a few already, and he's a good jockey. He's one of the Golden Gate guys that I got to watch for many years, and he's picking up steam now.
I'm glad to see that. Love the fact that this horse does draw into the body of the race. First race back off of a layoff from April of last season. So the barn does well coming off of those breaks and is going to take the drop to the lowest level of competition. And the barn does well off similar types of freshenings also. So sometimes pay attention to those also eligibles. A lot of times they want to run here, so that's why we see full fields. But yeah, pay attention to those alsos that do draw in.
And which I did not. I kept my original picks to not confuse people, but there are a couple also eligibles, Nancy, as you did very well with, knowing that, hey, if they draw in, they're going to be a major contender. And both of yours that you picked on top, the 14 horses here the last couple races, they're
knock on wood.
They're main contenders.
Yes. Race number 8, Filly and Mare, not winners of a race since October 4th. $35,000 is the claim price, 6 furlongs the distance, and speed kind of bookends the field for race 8.
Yeah, I'm looking on my hand. I see a lot of chalk, and I'm pointing at the chalk right now. I picked the chalk.
I was wondering
here.
what you were looking at.
Yeah, that was my segue into the chalk, Nancy.
Did you ever in school write stuff on your hand, like when you had to take a test?
No, I wasn't.
Kind of like
I
a cheat
wasn't,
sheet?
I wasn't a bad boy that way. I
I
didn't
remember
want to
writing
cheat.
stuff on my hand all the time.
For sure.
Or a little piece of paper between your legs or something?
For sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, we had other tricks we did, but
bottom of shoes, right on your pants.
for sure. We had one kid in the class, and you know, he was a really smart kid, and if the answer was B for the first question or so, he'd tap his foot twice to the class.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. A little Morse code for you. Or
Yeah, I
something.
mean, that happened one time, and then I think the teacher caught on to it. But a lot of us had a very good test that day.
I bet.
We're going to try to pass this test here, titled Lady number 12, coming off a win for 20 and for 35,000. First off, the claim for Randy Boris. You know, as good of a horseman as Randy is, he doesn't claim that much.
Right. He
has all sorts of levels of horse. He's got horses that are pretty slow, and then he's got some really fast horses.
Yeah.
He's got a wide range in his barn, and he does a really good job with all of them. He's a very good horseman.
When his horses come in the paddock, you notice.
Definitely.
Because they
always
look
good.
pristine. Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for Randy, the way he runs his operation. He's a very good horseman. His help do a really good job for him. As you know, you're only as good as your help. And I think that he's put this horse in a good spot. She likes Oaklawn Park. She draws outside. She's got some tactical speed. She's got a great running style. I like the claim for 20, and I like the spot that Randy's putting this one in. It's going to be my pick in here.
Yeah, my top pick as well. This runner is a 7-time winner, and the Morse Barn off to a really solid start. They won with Anthonian the other day. New connections off of that $20,000 claim does come off a little bit of a freshening, not too bad. So we're going to see last meet this runner did score back-to-back allowance wins, so really does like the surface here, and trying to get titled Lady and Luis Saez in the irons to the winner's circle. Race number 9 is our feature. It is the 4th running of the Mockingbird Stakes. It's for 3-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs for a purse of $150,000. No scratches, but a field of 7, and some already have stakes on their resume.
Woodstock's my pick in here in the Mockingbird Stakes, coming off a very poor effort in the Fern Creek Stakes at Churchill Downs. It was also 25-1. She's 2-1 on the morning line in this race. So she wasn't projected to run well that day. I like to look at that too, Nancy. Sometimes you look if a horse runs bad. Well, were they projected to run good?
Right.
If they weren't, you can be a little more forgiving than if they were. That 2-back effort in the Myrtlewood at Keeneland, a stake and a small field of 6, but ran a really respectable 3rd and finished behind a next out winner. I mean, her best race can win. She's a stakes winner herself. She just dominated in a race at Remington in September, a stake there, won by 10. So this filly has class. She's drawn outside, is not going to be on the lead. She'll be stock at the pace with Francisco Arrieta, and I like her today.
It's interesting. She's shown a little speed on her form and did add blinkers last out and came almost from further off the pace than normal. So very interesting. I'm actually going to look a few positions to the inside with the number 4 Wakuda, Steve Asmussen and Joel Rosario. Steve is racking up stakes wins this meet already. She broke her maiden 2-back when coming off a freshening, and they obviously thought they had something. They shipped her out to New Mexico in the Zia Princess, and she dominated as the favorite. So really coming in this race with good form. And from a pace perspective, she doesn't have to have the lead because there is a considerable amount of speed in today's feature, but really solid running of the Mockingbird.
Yeah, a fun group here and a few runners that have been supplemented, so maybe the trainers, the connections think that their fillies are going in the right direction at a good time here.
Race number 10 is the first leg of the $5 late double. This is for fillies and mares, a first level allowance to go 1 mile, and several are taking the step up to the level and could be prominent.
Definitely. This is one of these races where some of the runners that have run against Allowance Company, they haven't been quite good enough to win, so maybe you're looking for a new shooter. This is another race like race 2. I didn't have a strong opinion at all. As good of a race as this is, as high-quality allowance as it is, I just don't have a strong opinion. I do feel, though, get that Gowell's Delight, number 8 from Kenny McPeak's barn, coming off a 5.5-month layoff last time, dueled in the lead. The pace was not fast and faded down the lane. But every time this runner goes to the lead, she stops a little bit. Even if she hits the board, she stops. She looks like she's better with a target. There's a little more natural pace in this race. I think that maybe this time with a race under her belt, if she's got a target to run at, maybe she'll be a little more effective. So I'll take one more shot with her, especially knowing that she was 8-5 last time, really just didn't run well in the final 3 furlongs or so, and maybe now we'll get a little bit of a better price.
Well, I actually scratched into my top pick. I liked both also eligibles in here, but land on the number 5, Colonial Rose. Norm Cassie with his go-to guy and Ricardo Santana Jr. Comes off a third and a closing third when going Churchill's 1 mile at today's level. Does make the Oaklawn debut, but has been training here and has posted some really impressive works, most recently on December 28th, 4 furlongs and 49 and 2. So kind of like that work pattern coming in, and looks to maybe sit mid-pack and then make that run into the stretch. So we'll see if Colonial Rose can smell like a rose for race number 10.
Oh,
I love the
hopefully.
smell of roses.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
The smell of a lot of flowers
Yes.
is
Just a
pleasurable.
nice scent.
Colonial Rose. And my
Colonial
grandma's
Rose.
name was Rose. So
Really?
Rose Brandolino. So whenever there's a Rose horse in, especially
Gotcha.
my mom who's watching now, they think a little bit more, hoping
I love that. I
about
like
my
that.
grandma and hoping that the Rose can win. Actually, when my grandma passed away, there was a horse named Rose. It was like 2 days after she had passed, and I went to the racetrack at Del Mar, and the horse won, and it was like 10-1, and I
Meant
bet
to
her.
be.
And it's meant to be sometimes.
All in the
so
universe.
if my dad's on his Express Bet or Oaklawn Anywhere account, then I'd imagine he's going to put $2 on her.
For
from my
sure.
mom.
Punch plays exist.
Yes, they do.
Race 11 is the final race of the holiday meet, and we are going out in style with a first level allowance, 4-year-olds and up, and they are going to sprint home 6 furlongs in distance.
Our last race, well, it looks like I have the 13 and the 14 is scratching. Do you have the 12 and the 14? I want to make
I've
sure.
got
that's
a rider chain. I've got 12, 14 scratch and a
12,
rider
14.
change.
Okay,
and
maybe I
13.
just wrote it down
Yeah.
wrong. Well, regardless, that doesn't change my top pick in here. Oi Gavolt, number 2. I've been sort of swinging and missing with this horse, but he wasn't that far off. Last time I thought this horse did not have a good trip. That's why I'm giving him another shot. He was 7-5 to win at this condition on December 13th. Didn't break well. He was farther back than they projected him to be. Had to swing wide on the far turn and turning for home. Lost a lot of ground to horses that had saved a little more ground and finished ahead of him. And he still only lost by a length and a half. And I thought ran a better race than maybe it looks on the page. So we're going to take another swing with him here. His best races for sure have come sprinting on the dirt. Looks inconsistent on paper. When you look, his worst races have come other than sprinting on the dirt. And this is what he wants to do.
I'm going to land on the Steve Asmussen contender. That is El Prestigio. Joe Rosario aboard. This is the number 7. Broke the maiden 2 back off a 9-month layoff. So just came out blazing. Exits a 4th when taking on winners for the first asking against first level allowance. There's not a super ton of speed in this field, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this 4-year-old very prominent from the bell. So Steve Asmussen, our leading trainer as of now, looks to have a very good day.
Yeah, and he's got the numbers, that's
Yes.
for sure, to have good days
For
like
sure.
this. But yesterday, he seems to show up on big days. He
Yes,
comes to
he
play,
does.
and they typically run well for him.
That's the best day to do it on big days because
Definitely.
everybody's watching.
Definitely.
Let's-
You can gain clients.
Oh, 100%. Let's take a quick look at our $20 show bet parlay, our long shot and top pick. Matt goes races 3, 4, 5, 9. You see my show parlay, Matt? Those are all Asmussen horses.
So you did
Someti-
Mark Cassie yesterday,
Yes,
right? And
yep.
today you're doing all Steve.
I like to do show parlays like that, like the little
For sure.
quirks and everything. They're
Especially
fun to
for
keep
a
up
good
with.
barn. I mean,
Yes.
you got to be going into this thing. It looks to me like you got a good shot here.
Well,
to make some
naturally,
money.
Cruella DeVille, or whatever
Carvalho de Grill,
Carvalho de Grill ran 4th and just knocked me out of my show parlay right
and she
from
didn't
the
have
bell.
a good trip
Yeah,
either.
no, she did not. Watch out for that horse next time. Long shot play of the day for Matt is in the 5th with Woodcourt. I'm going to go Gettysburg Address in race number 4. Top pick sponsored by Oaklawn Anywhere. Matt's going to go Titled Lady in race number 8, and I'm going to go Wakuda in the 9th and feature Mockingbird. Thank you all for joining us for this holiday meet. Live racing does return on January 30th. We want to thank, we used to say the people in the truck, our crew up on the 3rd floor now. We are so thankful to have the best team in racing. So, yeah.
They do a phenomenal job. And this here, whatever you watch on TV, no matter what it is on television, that's probably, 10%
Right.
of the whole thing.
We're
And
just the talking heads. They do everything behind the
there is
scenes.
so much that goes on behind the scenes, and they do a phenomenal job. And they've always got our back.
Yes.
That's for sure. If
Thankfully.
they're paying attention, making sure that we don't cause the problem.
They take good care of us
They
for
do.
sure. So
They do.
we hope you have a wonderful 3-week hiatus. Join us back as we are going to kick off Friday the 30th with Racing Riches, and then Saturday is the running of the $1 million Southwest Stakes. So we're going to come back with a bang. Very excited.
We are, and if you want to be on track and you're a contest player, we've got something
That's
for
right.
you.
Yeah, go to our website, oaklawn.com, and you can get all the information about that handicapping tournament because it's going to be a good one. There's a lot of things going on when we come back.
Saturday, January 31st, Southwest Day. It's going to be the Southwest Showdown. And
Literally.
then on Sunday, we're going to have the Oaklawn Horse Players Championship Challenge. And these are two separate handicapping
Yes.
tournaments. You can go on oaklawn.com. You got to be on track. So if you're out of state, for example, you got to come here to play in it. But we're awarding BC seats,
That's huge.
NHC seats, good money. And, hey, this is the first on-track handicapping contest we've had. And from what I'm hearing, we're going to come back. And not only is it going to be a lot of fun, but the cards that you can play, Nancy, on Southwest Weekend, there's no doubt since all these horses are ready to run,
absolutely
we're going to have
amazing.
a fantastic weekend of racing that weekend.
And Cody Autry, the agent for Christian Torres and Ramon Vasquez, texted me and said Stiglitz yesterday got a 100 buyer.
Yes,
Boom.
100 buyer.
Yeah.
I thought it might even be higher.
That's huge, though.
Thank you, Cody, for
Yeah,
watching
thanks,
our show.
Cody. Thank you. Thank you for the intel.
Yeah, and I think Super Cruise, another one of Cody Autry's horses, got a 92. I was looking it up. Let me pull it up real quick if we got the time, because
Yeah.
I do have the buyers here for most of the horses that ran big races. Stiglitz got 100. Super Cruise got a 92. Bourbon Bash, he got a 95. I mean,
Wow.
he hasn't run in 20 months, and he ran like that. Pretty sensational. Obliteration got a 90. Another huge effort. Strategic
Unreal.
Risk with an 87. And Reclamation, he's a good maiden, that horse.
Yes, he
75
is.
buyer for him.
Yeah.
So.
And Taylor, thank you for sending that information about Ben Franklin by City of Light, but his dam sire is Dixie Union, so a little Confederate name probably.
There
going
you
in
go.
Yeah,
Digging
thanks,
down
Taylor.
deep in there
We
for the
love when
pedigree.
people give us intel
Thank you
because
very
it's
much.
all about the fans. For Matt Dinnerman, I am Nancy Holthus. I'll see you in the paddock. You'll see Matt up on the roof. Have a great day here with us at Oaklawn. Good luck and good racing.